Now, you won't get me arguing against tax reform or a debate about tax reform in this country, but the latest from the Teals, give me a break. We need a tax system that's more efficient and fair, for sure. We can't have this situation where people are paying half their income in tax, or where people are weighing up whether some overtime or a second job is actually worthwhile. Less income tax and more incentive, I say. Tax reform should be about lower, simpler taxes. But what I do oppose is politicians promising one thing before the election, promising they'll leave taxes alone, and then getting on board for higher taxes afterwards. Before the election, Melbourne Teal candidate Zoe Daniel told The Age she favoured a sweeping review of the tax system, but that if elected, she will not kick off a debate about the GST, nor reopen discussions around the Coalition's Stage 3 tax cuts. Likewise, the Teal candidate in neighbouring Kooyong stepped away from the taxation debate.
It's very disappointing that neither of the major parties has brought any vision for tax reform for this country to this election. But it's not my job as an independent to come up with a fully fledged idea for tax reform for this country.
Yet now, into their second year in Parliament, both Daniel and Ryan have signed up with the other Teals to start a taxation debate. It should encompass everything, they say, but will focus on increasing and/or broadening the GST. So now the Teals, who used to be a climate party, are the tax reform party.
And I'm running a process because we're not having a conversation nationally enough about this, and the major parties are scared of it. And I'm running a process, and I think, I believe that everything should be on the table. GST should be on the table. Capital gains tax should be on the table. These are issues that we all have to face and say, well, what are the implications, both for sort of fairness, but also for productivity and making actually the economy run better? Because if we can drive productivity, we can also drive wages and our ability to spend on the things that really matter to us.
Look, we shouldn't be afraid of these debates, obviously, but it's not the Teals we should be taking a lead from. Will they, for instance, call out the costly tax subsidies for electric vehicles? Or will they call out the dishonest claims about so-called subsidies for fossil fuels that are actually just a fair treatment for off-road fuel consumption by farmers and miners? Better if the major parties lead this stuff, and better if the first thing the Albanese Labor government does is reaffirm that it will not tinker with the Coalition's legislated Stage 3 tax cuts. That's what Labor promised to deliver.